This event is organized by IAB, Interactive Advertising Bureau in Hong Kong. Our mission is to help Hong Kong advertising industry and market professionals get the most of the digital. Our agenda is to supporting the digital advertising industry growth by developing talent and best practice. Second is to become a platform to solve the industry matters. And third, and most importantly, is become the voice of the digital advertising industry in Hong Kong. So as of today, we have already got more than 100 companies who have joined IAB Hong Kong. They are the market leaders in digital marketing fields. Besides the Career Day, we are also launching an apprentice program in the summer. I will let Avina to tell us more and share more tips with us about the apprentice program. Avina.
Yes, just unmute myself. Thank you, Roger. So this apprentice program is designed for to give experience, a 360 experience in digital marketing. Not just that you'll have an work experience in office, but we will also offer you some online courses on fundamental digital marketing. So you give you a kickstart. Also, we will have office visit, online coaching, and at the end of the program, you'll get a certificate and reference letter to help you getting to land your first job. For office visit, tentatively, we'll go to Field TV, which also will a very famous digital marketing, a creative victory, who will be sharing his personal journey with you. And for work experience, you get to choose from a selection of companies, from agencies to PR companies, to brands, to fintech, big data company, and also IAB Hong Kong. So we have over 30 placements available for you to choose from. And so if you're interested, just join this program. Join the link at the end, bit.ly IABHA apprentice, and submit your application today. The earlier you submit, the earlier we'll arrange the interviews, and we will have it's free admission, but we do have a small pay travel allowance allowed for the work experience. So please join. I think it's one of the most enriched program you will find for digital marketing. So deadline by 10th of May. So that's all for now. If you're interested or got any inquiries, please feel free to email us at info@iabhongkong.com. So maybe we should get started and have our first speaker, Arthur, to share with us. Hello, Arthur. I'll pass it to you.
Just a little bit housekeeping before we get started. For students, if you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the chat box in the Zoom control panel. I will bring them up after the presentation, and we will reserve 15 minutes for the Q&A section at the end. Now, without further ado, we'll turn the time to Arthur, our presenter today, about how big data transform brand strategy and how you can become part of it. Over to you, Arthur.
Hey, thank you, Roger and Avina. So just to make sure could everyone hear my voice? Okay, yes, so let's start. So before I start everything, I want to give you a heads up about my own portfolio. So I've been working for the digital marketing or data industry back to 13 years ago. So I used to work for Hong Kong market and Singapore market, but now I'm overseeing the entire Asia market for Vpon. So I used to work with quite a lot of MNC brands and tourism board of government. And now I think Vpon is one of the leading data company in Asia. So we actually a Taiwan company. So we start to globalize our business back to 5 or 6 years ago. And I joined the company back to 2016. And then now we have operation covering North Asia and a little bit Southeast Asia. And we claim ourselves a data company. So we always emphasize the daily billable inventory we could reach and the unique devices we could reach per month. So currently the maximum unique devices we could reach per month is 900 million. So if we're talking about only Hong Kong, our daily active users in Hong Kong is around 2 million. So for your better imagination, that will be around like an Apple daily applications range or telecom scale. So when we talk about the company, we used to highlight the ABC approach. So A stands for AI. So how we use the machine learning, the artificial intelligence to help us to ease the work. So to handle all the repetitive work or routine work. So for big data, of course, it's about the data collection. So how we could leverage the data we collected from first party, second party, third parties, or different source to help us to work out a better algorithm or a better data set. So I will talk a little bit more later on. So for C, stands for collective intelligence. So whenever we talk about technology or data, people always think about from a technical standpoint only. So, but in fact, it requires a lot of human input and human intelligence. Like when we are working on food industry, we need some domain know-how from food industry. When we're working with travel industry, we need expertise from travel industry. So it's always about the perfect match for the technical side, data side with the human intelligence side. So that's how we work out and how we help our clients to fulfill their business objective. So I'll just give you a quick research, I think with no surprise. For company standpoint, from all the corporate standpoint, they are increasing huge amounts and they have a high intention to increase the investment on digital transformation. So, but for data, it's not about only like collecting data or analyze the data. It's about how you turn your mindset or work approach, be a data-driven approach, and even develop your data storytelling skills. So, and in fact, I think some of the students here, you may from the technical, you may have some certain technical background, or you are purely from business background. I think to develop your data-driven mindset and data storytelling skills is actually quite important, no matter you're in which field. So here, just go straight to some two showcases, so that you can know what exactly we are doing here. So we're working with one of the famous food delivery apps in Hong Kong or in Asia. So with no need to explain, their core business model would be food delivery service. But if you look in depth, you will see actually one of the biggest challenge for the food delivery company is the timing for them to do business is actually very limited in a regular basis. They may only have 4 to 5 hours per day for a normal business time, right? So our core objective is, besides helping them to smooth or do the regular business better, on top, we want to help them to diversify the business direction to further drive the users traffic and transaction happen on the grocery business. That means diversify the people to buy stuff on their food more on the e-commerce platform under the same app. So and the core objective is to increase the app usage and the app download rate. So I think if you look back to your daily habit, the more you open the app, the longer time you stay on the app, then the higher chance for you to really start having some purchasing behavior in the app. So our core objective is how to bring in and sustain the new business direction for that food delivery applications. So, and that's why our clients have partnered with Vpon to shape, diversify the service and further to enhance the marketing positioning in the market. So let's go to directly about our work approach. Okay, so first we try to identify their loyal campaign clickers. So the loyal campaign clickers stand for the people who used to really click to their ads, and to eliminate those people who read their ads but didn't click. So I think if you look back, use your daily user behavior to project, a lot of time you read a lot of similar ads, but you never click it. So we try to eliminate those users. To us, those are not loyal campaign clickers. So, and then we also, because for food delivery or for shopping, it used to have a highly time with the delivery service. So you have to concern the physical location of the users. So we also have the location-based solution to target the users on some specific district and region. And then we also using our own data management platform to see how the behavior of the users, and then we deliver some personalized app. That means if you love the food, then you see the advertising ad message, which is food related. If you love Japanese food, then you read some message with Japanese food. If you love Chinese food, then you read some message with Chinese food on top of it. Okay, so as I mentioned, how we define the loyal campaign clickers. First, we try to locate those people who clicked it, and they do spend time on the landing page, spend time on the ad message. So we call this loyal campaign clickers. And then we also screen out, eliminate those who read the ad but they never click it. Okay, that means we successfully help the users, help the clients to reduce their wastage on their campaigns delivery. And then second part is, as I mentioned, the food delivery service or the e-commerce delivery is actually highly related to location. So we took out those people who are interested, and then with the exclusive location-based servicing targeting to say if they're the Hong Kong Island users, then we serve them food restaurants, serve them the product and services which located in Hong Kong Island. So that helps to ease the transaction and smoothen the logistics as well. And then we also collect the users' behavior who actually install the similar grocery shopping or e-commerce apps. That means they have high intention because, for example, if you install HKTV Mall, then you highly likely have the e-commerce shopping behavior. Then those will be the TA, the target audience of our customers. And then with all the mixture of the audience behavior, that means the interest targeting, the geolocation targeting, with the app preference, with the campaign interest, all those are targeting by mixing them together. And when we use those data compared with our existing DMP, say in Hong Kong, we have over 2 million daily active users. With those tools, then we were able to work out some lookalike expansion for the customers to enlarge the reaching rate in Hong Kong. So that means the key takeaways for this campaign is, first, we are not only helping them to make their business better, we're actually, as a partner, to help them to diversify their business opportunity under the pandemic crisis. So because most of the clients nowadays, they are not only trying to think about the strategies or action items to work out a better a solution for the existing business, but they do have to think about how to really diversify their business, how to think about the new extra business opportunity in the market. So that means, in conclusion, the data usage to us, from our standpoint or from client standpoint, is not just for a campaign. It's just not for this month, for next month, for a quarter. It's actually a long-term practice. So how to leverage the data to develop the long-term strategies and build up the advantage, campaign advantage, or the whole business advantage other than the competitors. So that will be the synergy or the strategy we could leverage on data usage. So that's the showcase number one. So let's go to showcase number two. Showcase number two is Lecom K. I think everyone knows this brand. It's an extremely famous and dominating brand in sauce industry. Okay, so you may see, okay, so they are so traditional and they are so dominating. Then what we could help for them by leveraging the data. So in fact, they are still expanding to the Asian market. So I think everyone knows their product, so I will skip this. So for LKK, I think they're extremely famous in Hong Kong, but still they want to capture more and more market share, especially in Japan or South Asia market. So those are the fast-growing market and the area with highly correlation with their TA. So, but when we talk about different markets, I think we should have different market strategies, but the key is how. So let's use Japan as an example. So for Japan market, they used to have their huge number of sauce brands. Okay, they have their own very famous sauce brands. So in Japan market, LKK is a new player. So our strategy is to leverage the data to help them to find some, to build the brand awareness, to find some new potential TA. So this is our strategies. So we analyze their Facebook, analyze their use to the product and campaigns, and find out some market insights. And by using those insights, we find out there are actually a few couple of audience that will show high interest to their products. First is the young families and young couples, and a little bit surprised is about the potential male audience. So it's not because whenever you talk about sauce brands, I think the first top of the mind you think about it should be the housewife or the elderly people. But in fact, based on our insight, It's not. They should actually work on the young families, young couples, and the male audience as well. So by this audience segment, we try to expand. We use the lookalike expansion to expand the audience pool and target them with the personalized message. So when it comes to Singapore market, so we use a different strategy. So Singapore is a more mature market to LKK. So we used a similar approach. We locate those loyal campaign clickers, and then we eliminate those people who never click their ads. So to reduce the wastage. And then again, we used to find some potential audience with three types. One with the young age group from 22 to 35 ages. Is actually surprisingly young, way younger than what we expected. And then with also the people with high health concerns, they used to pay attention on their health index. They read a lot of health information, and then with also a lot of foreign expats. So I think those insights will be quite different from what you in your perception, because we used to think, okay, sauce lover will be those elderly people, or Chinese people, but in fact they know LKK already. So for LKK in the mature market Singapore, they want to locate someone new, okay. And on the other hand, they try to put those traditional users at a lower priority. So again, with a similar approach, we use a lot of app information, the consumer behavior information, the transaction information, the audience behavior information, their location data, blah, blah, blah. So by adding all together, and then we used to target those three major audience group and then do the audience expansion. So you may ask, okay, then after all those approach, all those tactics, so what's the result? And here's the result. So by using all those data approach, targeting the core TA, so their monthly official website business rate is actually triple. Okay, so under the campaign period, so it's a very convincing numbers to them. And then even for the video ads, they used to have a lot of video ads to promote their products and some of the cookies. So the completion rate actually almost double for their video ads. So that means we'll help this LKK brand successfully to step into the new market, and two new markets by two different strategies. So that means when we are talking about data, it's not about only finding out the core customers and keep retargeting them, but we could leverage the data to find out something or some new audience, and the most important, in a very cost-effective way. So that means you control the wastage, you're really using your budget wisely. Okay, and then we could also provide some true audience insight back to clients, so they could somehow eventually adjust their marketing strategies and maybe even their channel development strategies. So that means the data usage or data insights is not only applied on the marketing campaigns itself, but it's in fact, customers could use those as a kind of like business research, or even like adjusting different types of business strategies internally. So that, I think those two showcases should give you more clear idea how we could leverage the data, how we use the data, how we apply them on business. So back to the core objective for today is how to develop, build your career in the data world. So here to give you a quick update about what's the latest talent shortage. Because you're looking for future, right? So the best way is to study and invest your time, energy in the area that with the most shortage. So I think that currently in the market, people are desperately looking for people with data, analytics skills and mobile skills, and with a good know-how about content as well. Okay, but for the generic digital marketing, relatively is I think is I won't say it's saturated. But I would say after in the past 10 years, a lot of talents have stepped into the digital marketing fields. So from a more generic standpoint, I think it's okay. But I think if you really have time, you should pick one very specific area to go vertical, to make yourself either you're an extremely good content writer, or you really know data analytics, how to find out some insight from the data pool. And then if we compare the digital talents with all the generic employees, okay, so for the major employees, we see only around 50% of them will really have the strong willingness to invest their digital skills in general. But for digital talents, one of the characteristics of digital talents, usually for digital talents, they are very proactive and hungry in learning, just like you, okay? So and we see for digital talents, they used to spend a lot of time, just like IT folks, to learn, to equip new skills. So I would say this industry is highly, with a very good potential, very good prospect. The demand for digital talents is huge, but on the other hand, it's also very competitive. So you have to have the preparation to really keep investing and develop your digital skills. So here's a quick summary for the how you build a career in as a data-driven marketing mindset. Okay, so first of all, as I mentioned at the beginning, digital data is not only about how we make things better or how we sounds cooler. It's really about a thinking process, how you define or think about your strategies, not only in marketing but your business, or your daily action with a data-driven mindset. So I think this is the core. And then digital marketing is an ongoing job, education job. You have to keep learning. Okay, I mean, even I think the people here in the call, they're still spending quite a lot of time in continuous learning. So data itself is a boring stuff. Okay, it's hard to understand. And when you talk about, especially when you talk about with people who are not in this industry, they may feel hard to understand what you're talking about. So how to transform data with storytelling skills to make it easier for people who are not in this field to understand is also a very, very important skills. And then for data, of course, sometimes they tell a lot insightful information to us, but on the other hand, sometimes they may give us wrong direction as well. So that's why, as I mentioned at the beginning, besides the technical know-how, we also need a lot of industry skills. So for the conclusion is stay human. Okay, as I said, you have to build up the collective intelligence. For myself, I'm not in technical background, I'm not in data background. I actually start my career in business background, but now I'm running a data company. So I think with your mindset to stay human, to think about how to considering things or develop your business, develop your job, develop your work task in a human angle is also a very important skills. So I think that's pretty much for me for today's sharing. Hope I'm not overwhelming.
Thanks a lot, Albert. Thank you for your sharing. I think both me as well as the student can learn a lot from your sections. So there are key few points you have just mentioned: the data use case in marketing, business research, and improving the business decisions. And the career advice given to the student is not only about the technical know-how, but stay human to bring value in terms of the business. That's very good. I like this tagline. So after your sections, allow me to introduce Edison. His presentation today is AdTech and MarTech for digital marketing industry. Hello, Edison, over to you. We have some technical difficulties. I think Edison has to be unmuted by the host. Is it okay now, Edison?
Hi. Yes, I'm back to live now. Thank you, Roger. So hi, everyone. My name is Edison. So I'm based in Hong Kong. So I'm the regional VP head of activation for ForwardPMX. So in my sessions, I'm not going to share with you. I think today everyone comes here with a mindset as in like how we can build a career in the digital world. So digital marketing actually has evolved a lot since the day one when we have internet that we invented in the year of 1997. So let me walk you through in terms of my background. So I started off my career as a media consultant in the agency world. So agency world, I call agency as a consultant because clients always come to agency to look for an opinion or advices or recommendation in terms of how they can invest their digital money. So this consultant work actually will empower you to look at the business from different verticals and also to help client to gain a business. Then after that, I moved myself from the consultant to venture into more the digital analytics and start to look at the business strategy. And this is where the whole digital industry has evolved, not just based on the channel planning. So we start to look at how the digital or the channel able to transform the business for client, because digital increasingly become more important in our day-to-day life. And then from there, I moved into to lead a business unit and also to help the client, also the company to work on the digital transformation. So you've been hearing this digital transformation word. Why we need to do transformation where we're already in the digital era? Just because that consumer behavior are changing on a daily basis. So if you know Snapchat used to be very super popular amongst the youth, say for a few years ago, but now these days people don't use Snapchat, people start to use TikTok, people start to use more on IG story. So because of the change of consumer behavior, so we need to constantly just transform how we need to work on the digital. That's why we had the digital transformation. And then I moved into more regional role to look at the digital empowerment. So here I want to give you some story in the sense that your digital journey, like what others say, pick one area, and then from that area onwards, you slowly to evolve yourself into those other areas that you want, because digital is very fragmented, it's very, very broad as what I'm going to explain to you. Before I start to talk about the AdTech and MarTech, give me about 30 seconds to walk you through what, the company that which I'm working right now. So ForwardPMX is a company that the tagline we have is we always help the client to find the change that can fuse the groove. Find the change in the sense that what we can do it differently to transform the business. So once we find the moment to transform business and where we can feel the groove, make sure the business can grow. So basically, to do this, the whole company actually are divided into three parts. So to find the change is a team of, we call it as a consultancy team. This team basically are the people that work on strategy, work on the CRM, the MarTech, consumer insight, data science. So once we're able to find where are the moment or where are the things that we can make a change, then they'll pass through to the activation team to work on the planning, the organic, also production. So here I want to tell you, as in like any digital agency that will come with different role. So each role will play their part to empower the business transformation to the clients. So regardless you are going for your in-house role or you're going for your agency role, the area that you're going to excel in your digital can be very different. But every role will play their role to work together as a team. It's a big team when it comes to the digital marketing. So our company actually had a footprint across the whole world. So in Asia, Hong Kong as a headquarters. So basically we're able to help the client to look after their business in this region at Asia Pacific, based on the team that are based out of Hong Kong. So actually in today's session, what I'm going to share with you is called AdTech and MarTech. So maybe these two terms can be very not familiar to you. So AdTech, in short, we call it as an advertising technology. MarTech, we call it as a marketing technology. So what are the differences between the advertising technology and marketing technology? So when we talk about AdTech, the advertising technology, basically it's like how we can use this technology to empower all the different advertisement we can perform on the digital, online. So basically it's like how we use a tag to look at the audience, how we can use the tag to buy the media, which we call it as a programmatic buying. And within the programmatic buying, we also have this term called real-time bidding. So I don't know, are you familiar with how the digital advertising have transformed? Basically, if you in the past, when you listen to your friends say, I want to buy a newspaper ad, so they make a quotation from the newspaper seller. Let's say one full page ad will cost you 20,000 Hong Kong dollars. But this day, when you buy an ad on digital mindset, so all the transactions not based on those insertion orders. All the transactions are based on your real-time bidding. As in like myself, Edison, I'm bidding $1.20, and the other is bidding $1.40. So $1.40 are higher than $1.20. So the potential for other ad might be appear better or appear first than my bidding. But of course, the real-time bidding is not only based on the cost, also based on other factors. Yeah, so basically it's like a stock market. So this is how the advertising has been involved. So when we talk about MarTech, so MarTech is talk about the customer relationship management, or in short we call the CRM, customer relationship in short we call CRM. So another thing we also talk about is the marketing automation platform. Basically it's like if you heard of the terms of Tableau, Data Roma, Google Data Studio, when you do work on your assignments, basically it's like how we are using all these tools to do an automation on reporting rather than using the Excel. So, and also because of the MarTech, we have a list of different analytical tools have been born to help the marketing team to work on their business. So in my next few slides, I'm going to walk you through all these items to give you a more a sense check in terms of what are they. So when you get into the digital industry, we know that which area actually have more interest and you will have more affinity to venture into. So let's start with the audience targeting. So in my sense, audience targeting is the first step of every digital planning, because in order to do a digital planning, basically we need to look for the right audience for us, for your client, or even for yourself to sell your product or to sell a service. To look for your right audience, basically we need to have a strategy, make sure that we're able to locate them on the digital. So on the digital, if you ask yourself, in the past 2 hours, where are the digital platforms you have been browsing to? It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be any website you went to, it could be any apps that you're using on your mobile phone. So how are we going to locate them? So based on this, all these signals, actually that can be collected based on different vendors. Vpon is one of the companies that actually are collecting all these signals. And with all this signal, we're able to target the audience based on the frequency, based on the content, based on the day part, based on their behavioral, demographic, geographic, on device IP. I'm not going through item by item here. So basically, it's like what I'm trying to share with you, as in like all the signal being collected by the different platform. They will not be able to identify this is X or this is Y. But what we can identify will be the behavior, as in like the XXX actually has shared some interest because he clicked on a banner that related to a fitness app. So this person considered has a fitness interest. So in the future, if you have any fitness related products or services, then we can target on this person. Or XXX always online during 4 to 6 p.m. because based on our data. So then maybe when we reach out to this audience, I can bid higher during this 4 to 6 p.m. and so on and so forth. And with this audience targeting, basically, we can do a lot of strategy based on different signals that we collected. So on the screen right now, I'm sharing with you based on one of the a partner called Quantcast. Quantcast basically based in Australia that had a footprint for the global. So they have been collecting on all the signal from around the world. So on this dashboard, you can see that if we wanted to understand that female 21 to 39 years old that stay in San Francisco in the United States, based on the traffic from their mobile web and also on the tablet. Tablet means the iPad or the equivalent to iPad devices. So what are the interests of this group of people are showing at? So here you can see that female 21 and 39 that stay in San Francisco. So these are people actually that show interest in the art and entertainment, food and drinks, health and fitness. So all the boxes highlighted in blue color with the index above 100, basically they show more interest as compared to the general population. And this is the day-to-day job for any digital planner that working in the agency or even on the in-house side. They will look at all this number to look at all this number to help them to find who are the right audiences for the product or for the campaign they are running. And this, because of the different audience targeting, we're able to collect the signal. Hence, we are creating, the whole industry actually created this programmatic ecosystem. It looks very complicated on the diagram itself. If I can simplify the same to you, basically, if you look at yourself as an audience, so you imagine yourself as an audience A, audience B and audience C on the right-hand side of the diagram. Okay, so let's say we are and then imagine yourself is advertiser. So let's say I pick the advertiser of Nike. So you are Nike advertiser on the diagram, on the left-hand side of the diagram. So I want to show my Nike Air shoe to the audience A. So how much will do it? So basically, the advertiser will engage with the agency. The agency actually basically they'll go through a DMP. We call it as a data management platform to look at all the different data based on our audience signal, which I just mentioned to you. So based on audience signal, we already identified I want to target at the fitness and the fitness interest person. Then I place a bidding, as in like I want to bid to show my ad into this person, and that bidding actually will go to a platform called DSP, demand supply platform, and the DSP will connect the ad to the ad exchange. So ad exchange could be the people who provide the ad placement, like Google, like Facebook, like Google, Facebook, on Yahoo. So all these things that we put into the ad position, as in like because when you look through in a website, you have different placement. So that actually can be considered based on the different placement when you add, and then only show the ad to you. So on this process, actually it going through a different companies and also a different platform. And all these company and platform actually they have a role to play to make sure that the ad will be rightly and contextually targeting to the audience that the advertiser want, which is the Nike want to sell the Nike A to the audience A. So all these signal actually can happen within 0.001 seconds because everything can be done in a programmatic way. So because of this, a lot of company actually has been born based on the entire system, from the agency side to the company will be able to supply the data and also to supply the bidding and also they decide what format and what asset to be displayed to the audience. We call it as a dynamic formats. And all these company actually will be operate and empower with the data. So when we talk about AdTech and MarTech, actually is very blurred in the sense that all AdTech and MarTech are developed based on the requirement, based on the whole processes, which I just explained to you. So first of all, you need to ask yourself, are you a person that really like to control the overall strategy that will be rightly to work for the agency side? Or you are the person like to look at the data. The data could be like the platform you supply, the format, the platform that you can look at the audience, what kind of audience you want. Then you know that which are the company you should get into to build your career for. And because of that, a lot of companies start to have a lot of demand on data visualization. So in the data visualization, used to my early days of my career, every report will be done in Excel format. But this day, all the data will be done in this format that which I show on the screen. So all this format that will be translated through Datarama, Dayview, or Google Data, GDS, Google Data Studio. So then with 3 tower analysts, we look at all this report. So we can see these type of analysts on most of the job board. We call BI analysts, data analysts, and performance analysts. So what are the differences between these 3 analysts? So basically, the BI, for any BI analyst, is the analyst that client mostly are coming from in-house. So these analysts will be able to look at all the data to identify where are the opportunity I can grow my business and where are the opportunity I can close the gap to minimize the wastage. So BI analysts will be able to use the data to tell the story and make an informed decision to the company, what are the right strategy need to be made. So data analyst would be a person that combine different data from different sources, so they can fit into this data visualization dashboard for the BI analyst to make an informed decision. So the data analyst will be the person that very good in SQL or Python or any kind of coding, able to make sure that, or in other words, it's called structured data analyst. So basically, this structured data analyst will be able to organize all the data in a structured format, so can be fit into the data visualization dashboard. And whereby when we call performance analysts, will be all the digital analysts that are working in the agency world. So performance analysts will be the type of analyst to look at. So once we already identify what are the strategy, So based on the strategy, how we can drive a better performance to make sure the sales will grow and make sure that we can bring in more business. That's where the performance analyst will come in the picture. So the performance analyst will look at the budget, make sure the budget will be optimized by using the less money to gain more ROI to client. So I'll give you one example, as in like if Edison can use $5 use $5 advertising money to gain $10 sales, means my ROI is 10 over 5 will be 2.0. So I get 2 times higher. So all the performance analysts will be work based on how much ROI you can bring back to the client or you can bring back to your company. So and another thing I want to highlight here would be the new trend in 2011, because we call it a customer data platform. So from the audience targeting, which I just mentioned, will be based on all the data collected by the third party. So let's say you are Nike. So now you're wearing a cap and you are the Nike client. So I want to understand that people who buy the Nike product, who are they? And what kind of owner behavior that are having. So what kind of channel they are browsing. So I already know that this group of person that always buy my Nike Air, I want to target them immediately, not just based on basic remarketing. I want to know who they are. So we can do that. So basically we can help the client to create a custom data platform. So that platform will be dedicated to that client that will be able to map out all the behavioral and then feed it back to the different channels that are having. So this is something not very new, relatively new to the Asian market, but a lot of clients actually are start to spend money on this area. So on this side, how you can excel career would be like if you like to look at data, which is all the BI analysts and data analysts, that would be find a role in this customer data platform. Yeah. So in nutshell, so this is the 3 guiding dot for me to share with you. If you want to build your career perspective in this digital environment, the 3 areas you can look at: consultancy firms, in-house, or media house. So when I talk about consultancy firms, like what I'm working for ForwardPMX, so basically we are helping clients to look at the performance. So you can go inside the consultancy firm to work as a performance analyst. Basically, it's like how you can optimize the advertising budget for your client, or data analyst, because often client will engage to the consultancy firm to create those platform or dashboard, and this data analyst will be helping client to connect all the dots. Whereas for the in-house basically is like you can go inside as a data analyst or BI analyst. So basically most of the advanced clients that we have a data team. So this data team basically they will need to connect all the different data from different departments and harmonize them into one platform, will be empower them to do a better planning perspective. I didn't highlight marketing role here because marketing is basically, especially in Asian market. So most of the marketing firm actually, the whole department will build based on the branding or more on like in general, that is like the end-to-end marketing process. But digital is only part of the end-to-end marketing process. So if you want to really focus on AdTech and MarTech, that these are the things I list out here. But if you want to focus on the digital marketing, then it will be a completely different story, because AdTech and MarTech is not something that is a compulsory need to be equipped as a digital marketer, but you should able to understand the concept to it. And then the third one would be the media house. The media house basically is like what Arthur is working on with the Vpon. So basically it's like either you can start to do your media sales, understand how the DSP work, how the DSP can help client to bid and to get the right signal for your audiences. And maybe you can also try to explore your career in the platform or even in the inventory analyst on the SSP side. So I think that's it for my sharing in terms of how you can venture your career in a different area based on the AdTech and MarTech. I will pass back the floor to Roger. So if you have any question, please feel free to type it on, and then we will try to answer to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Edison. Thanks for walking us through the differences between the MarTech and AdTech. And I'm sure the student will know better what to expect from different roles and what skill set they have to prepare for their career choices. So let's go ahead and take some questions from now. Just a reminder to the student, please be sure to type your question in the question box in your control panels. So we are open for any questions right now. If you have any questions related to the career, related to the AdTech company, or even the industry trend, feel free to type it in the chat box. While we are waiting for students' questions, actually, I have a couple of questions for the speakers. So my first question to both Edison and Alpha is, what do you think the most interesting part of working in the AdTech company? Who want to start first? Maybe Edison.
Okay, I can go first. Yes, sure. I think we are lucky enough in this area where everything actually is empowered by data. So in the past, when I started off my career, when we don't have a lot of data, so a lot of things are being planned based on our gut and also based on our gut feel in terms of this is how the thing should be behave like. But with the capability to track all the data and able to try to dissect the data and make the story. So basically, AdTech has empowered all the different decisions has been made in the world. So all the decisions made not only for digital marketing, it's everything are being based on the different technology or data we can able to collect it. So that is the one of the most powerful the AdTech industry has evolved and helped the whole world.
I feel the same. What about Alpha?
Could you unmute me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So I think one of the beauty for in a data-centric or AdTech industry is about the objective measurement of your performance. Because if you go into like the advertising industry, a lot of time your performance will be judged by subjective angle, like creativity. And basically creativity will be very hard to quantify your performance, right? But if you are people like me, which is very logical, very numbers driven, then you will find your place and your development area in the AdTech industry or data industry, because it's so objective.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because the beauty of digital marketing and AdTech is about measurements. And nowadays we keep on talking about the KPI, the ease and the convenience of measuring the success of the campaign or your career. That would be something I can imagine that is quite satisfying as a student to pick their career choice. So let's move on to another questions from the student. Do I have to possess a math or computer science degree to work as a data analyst? So I think this question will go to Alpha, since your company is a big data company.
No. Basically, you don't need to have any technical background. But I guess, of course, if you spend time to understand more tools like Tableau or the Data Studio or Power BI, I think that will, or bottom line, if you're good at Excel file, I think that will be definitely very helpful for you to entering the data analyst industry. But I think the most important part will be on 2 points. One will be on the logical mindset. That means, I mean, that's for like common sense, right? If you deal with data, you have to have a lot of logical senses, develop your workflow, how you verify the data accuracy, and how you develop the business model and correlate with the data. That would be the logical part. And then I think another key element would be you have this curious, you have to be very curious to a lot of new knowledge. Like what I mentioned, when Vpon, when we deal with LKK, we have no know-how about the sauce industry, right? Or food delivery industry. So a lot of time we need to use our imagination, creativity, and do a lot of research to understand a new industry in a very short period of time. So I think that's the 2 key core fundamental elements in your personality or your DNA. I think to me that's way more important than the hard skills.
Yeah,
that's great. So we have received a question from Henry Hui, which is also asking for the similar question. Any things we can do to equip ourselves to get into the data-driven career path? So for example, like the online course or what kind of website that could be useful for them, because this type of the tool or the skill set might not be taught in the classroom directly in the school, right? Any thoughts?
I mentioned, Edison, feel free to add on. I think like Power BI, that's under Microsoft. So it's an easy way for you to learn and pick up like data visualization. And then if you want to go more in-depth about data visualization, you could try to learn Tableau. There are quite a lot of online classes, not too expensive, teaching about Tableau. And then if you want to go further, more technical, you could learn, you could attend some data science course. We teach you R, or how to a little bit Python programming. So yeah.
Thanks. I hope the student have enough time to take the notes. Edison, anything to add?
I think speaking for myself, I am a PR graduate, so during my university time, I only been taught how to write and how to take a nice picture. But when I get into the digital world, basically I had no skill set at all. So as I said, the industry has evolved so much. So basically you don't need to have any prerequisite skill set. So long you are good in numbers, you love the numbers, you love to deal with data, then you can excel. So basically it's like how we use the data to make the informed story, and then you find your own magical world within this career. Yeah.
Great.
So
we have got a questions about the AdWords specifically. So there's a question, Google AdWords has been changing a lot recently. How can you, or as a student, to keep on top of the industry changes like this? I mean, this question goes to Edison, since you deal with a lot with your clients with AdWords, right?
Thank you. So if you're working for any consultancy firm or AKA agency, so usually the agency will have a close relationship with all these media partner. So from time to time, whenever there's a biggest change in terms of the platform, let's say like Google Ads, so agency will be the first hand party to get all this update. Then all this update will be translated back to the in-house clients and so on and so forth. But if you're still a student, you can't work in the agency, right? I would strongly suggest to you sign up to thinkwithgoogle.com. So then if you sign up with thinkwithgoogle.com, so basically we get most of the update from them, and you also get some of the insight in terms of how the Google platform has evolved to help the ongoing digital strategy.
Perfect. We got a question from Chris Wong.
Sorry,
yep.
I want to add on one recommendation.
Please.
Actually, the best way for you to learn about Google AdWords is to set up your own business. You could, run a small business, like using and then install the GA, spend maybe just 2,000 Hong Kong D per month, or even 1,000 per month to test and learn. Just like firing stock, right?
Yeah.
It's never better than you just jump into the market and taste the market. So, so it's similar. If you want to learn GA quickly, just set up a small business, set up a GA account, test and learn, burn some money, then you're going to learn quickly.
It's a good advice to the student. It's time to get your hands dirty.
That's how I learned.
Yeah, learn from the failure, learn from the mistake.
Another way is to apply for apprentice and then get your job at Vpon. That would be helpful too.
Yeah, or apply the internship and burn other people's money. Then I think it's a better way.
Okay, we got another question from Chris Wong. For in-house role, how does Analyst actually consolidate all the data to produce the insights?
I think when you go to the in-house role, right? So because basically most in-house data team will sit within the tech team or the marketing team. So it's like we collected all the, let's say the sales data from your offline or maybe your marketing data and also your in-house CRM or any type of data. So when all these data coming are grouped together, then based on where your marketing team or your maybe your CEO will ask a certain question in terms of how we can grow the business, then you need to produce the insight based on the data collected. As I said, the data team only happen in those companies actually that are willing to invest on this technology. So it's not popular yet, but I see this trend are picking up a lot in AI in this part of the world, especially if you look at on the job board, you see more and more in-house clients actually that hire the data role. So basically they want to strengthen on this part of the world.
Thanks, Edison. Let's take the last questions from Lee Chok Fong. So as students, they may not have many experience in using the MarTech or CRM tool. How could they demonstrate their potential in this area or demonstrate the logical thinking to the potential employer?
Maybe I could answer this because I do a lot of hiring. So I think from a very fundamental part, I think you could take a lot of Google exam or Facebook exam, get a certain certification. It doesn't mean after you get those certification, that means you know everything, no. But at least I think you show your proactiveness in stepping into the industry, right? Especially you have no experience. And then second part, I think, as I said, if you have certain resources, do try to run your own small business. The objective is not for making money because you will lose money anyway. So, but I think that it is to really show the employer you have the ambition to really leverage the digital tools to bring it to a practical business world. I think this is very important because I think, I mean, one of the past candidates that impressed me the most is he or she did run his or her own business, and he or she, I forgot is he or she, talk a lot about what's the difficulty he faced and all the optimization tactics and what types of tools he tried it, and that really impressed me. So I think this is something you could do on top of textbook or academic result to really show people you are already ready.
Great. It looks like we have covered all of our questions. Alvina, is there anything else you want to cover before I wrap up? Alvina, you're on mute.
Forgot to unmute myself. Thank you for coming today. So I hope you like today's program. I know there are lots of great questions. If you got more questions, please feel free to email us at info@iabhongkong.com and also share your thoughts with us, like what other topics you think you'd be interested, because we want to, we still have 3 more days to go. So for those who have joined today, welcome to invite more of your friends. Our registration is still open to join tomorrow's session, which we will actually have KOL manager Carmen joining us, and also the head of business of New Media Group. Yeah, talking about burning money of media, paying media. So tomorrow is the game. And to gain your experience, a lot of people worried about, oh, how do I start? Where do I get my experience? So here's the starting point, the IAB Apprentice Program. So IAB Hong Kong, we are actually hiring interns as well. So we give you hands-on experience in running webinars, doing social media content and stuff. So it'd be a great start. So we do have a dozen more great employers to apply today. So that will be my advice. So I'll come back, survey, please fill up. So I think that's all for now. So thank you, Edison and Arthur, and also our brilliant, handsome moderator, Roger. So I guess that's all for now. So email us if anything, your questions for these guys, like Vpon, who is always hiring.
So just ForwardPMX.
Okay. Yes. And also, yes, if you got anything, ask them, find them in LinkedIn or email us. Okay. So I guess
Great.
that's all for now. We'll
Thank you,
share
everyone.
later. Okay. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
We appreciate
Bye-bye.
you being here. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time. If you are interested in the apprentice program, do not hesitate to contact us or apply to our website. You'll find the QR code direct you to the right page in here. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.